Welcome, everyone, to this episode of the Mortgage Matters with Gretchen show, where I talk to real people in the field of real estate and business who are not only experts, but are generous and willing to share their knowledge and wisdom with us here today. The goal of the show is for you to gain some information and tips to help reach your goals in business and in owning real estate, and to take some of the guesswork out of what to do or who to call in the process. And today I'm very grateful to have Alka Nedungadi. Did I say it properly?
Yeah, that was quite good.
Oh, awesome. With me here. And Elka and I first met a month ago, actually, this point, more than a month ago at the Oshawa Mayor's Luncheon.
Hmm.
And I have worked with Pathwise in the past for a number of years, going back to when it was Auto Workers Credit Union. However, I had not met Alka before that and had not worked a lot with commercial mortgages at that previously. So I'm very happy that I met Alka and now have her as a great connection. Um,
Excellent.
yeah, so thank you. And Alka, please introduce yourself, give a little bit of background about who you are, what you do, and how you help people.
I'm the commercial services manager here at Pathwise Credit Union. We are a team of 3 people. I'm one of them, and we help business owners, real estate investors obtain commercial financing, commercial real estate financing, and multi-residential uh, property financing.
Okay, perfect. And
Hmm.
for the audience, if anyone's not totally familiar with what commercial encompasses, what kind of properties would it be that is different than just straight residential?
For sure. The zoning of the property would largely dictate this. Typically, yeah, the properties that we finance with a commercial mortgage or a loan would be zoned commercial, such as commercial condominiums, retail spaces, industrial facilities, or even hotels and warehouses. We also finance mixed properties with both commercial and a residential component in them. And then there are properties with more than four units, such as fiveplexes or more. All of these kind of properties can be financed with a commercial mortgage or loan.
Okay, and if somebody like an investor who owns, say, 8 residential properties, is that something you can also handle even if they're not over 5 units apiece, or no?
Yeah, absolutely, Gretchen. Great question. So we have number of investors that have, as you mentioned, 5, 6, 7, 8 residential properties, maybe registered in a corporation's name, and we would look at this type of financing via a commercial investment mortgage.
Okay, and that's really important because a lot
Mhm.
of the listeners will be in that category too. So,
For sure.
um, okay, so what are the benefits of working with Pathwise instead of working with a bank?
Yeah, great question. I love this question. So Pathwise is a small to medium-sized boutique financial institution, and there are several benefits of working with us. We offer personalized service, fast approval process, and quick response times. You also have the ability to speak directly to your lender. Uh, if the if our clients need it, we also can be very creative with our financing to suit the needs of our clients where it is warranted. Our interest rates are very competitive, and we focus on supporting local businesses and communities. Feel free to check us out at pathwise.ca.
Yeah, and I will vouch for that. I've had that experience as well. You are very great about helping that local business, local investor.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So commercial financing involves primarily looking at a business and its debt service coverage ratios. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah. So in commercial financing, the debt service coverage ratio is crucial. Um, Again, it's defined as earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, EBITDA for short. You must have heard this term, less dividends plus or
Sorry,
minus.
can you say that term again? What is it?
Yeah, it's EBITDA. So EBITDA is the acronym. So it's defined as earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, less dividends if the shareholder declares dividends, plus or minus change in shareholder loans, divided by the total annual principal and interest payment on the loan. In short, we basically divide the net operating income by the total debt service. So we would typically look for a coverage of approximately 1.2 times or higher, but we do make exceptions based on the overall application. In addition to this ratio, we're also looking for other ratios such as debt to equity and current ratio.
Okay. And I don't know if this is accurate. If you say 1.2, does that basically mean like there's a profit of about 20% over and above costs? Is that?
Yeah. So, your operating revenue, your net operating income needs to be at least 1.2 times more than your annual payments on your debt payments.
Okay. And is the 1.2 hard and fast number, or is there ever any wiggle room in that?
We make exceptions all the time. Again, it really depends on the strength of the borrower, if there is any additional income available. So it really depends on the overall application. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely we make exceptions.
Okay, that's good to know. What role does the applicant themselves play in the individual? Are you looking for certain credit scores, debt ratios, personal guarantees? How does that work?
Yeah, when you say applicants, I'm assuming you mean the shareholders. They play a significant role in commercial financing. As lenders, we evaluate their credit scores, personal debt ratios, and also their net worth. It's a very important step in our analysis of the commercial financing, because we do take a personal guarantee on all our commercial loans. There are again exceptions where the circumstances dictated, but most of our commercial loans come with the personal guarantee of the shareholder, which is why this component is really, really important. For your listeners, if they have additional questions on this, they can email us at commercial@pathwise.ca, and we are happy to help.
Okay. Have there been any government or Pathwise changes in the last 5 years regarding the commercial financing that are important to know about? And the reason I ask that question is that some people maybe haven't been active in, but were previously in commercial financing.
For sure. So it's important to note that we are regulated by FISRA. Pathwise Credit Union follows rules set by FISRA to protect our members that ensures transparency and reliability. So this oversight means Pathwise operates ethically and securely in commercial financing, giving our members trust in this process. We're also insured up to 250,000 for non-registered funds, which is 100,000 with the banks, just so you know the difference. With regards to recent government changes, the 2024 federal budget proposed to increase the capital gains inclusion rate for individuals, trusts, and corporations. So specifically, 66.7% of capital gains realized on or after June 25, 2024 would generally be included in income for tax purposes. This is up from 50% previously. So that's the recent change. So higher capital gains means higher taxes on the sale of either investments or capital properties. So really something important to note for the businesses out there, if you haven't heard already.
Yeah, I have, because I've actually been doing mortgages for some people who are buying properties that investors are selling to avoid that issue.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So I work with many real estate investors. The most common need for commercial financing that I'm running into is either they have multiple properties or they're buying multifamily properties, often for the first time, meaning 5 units and above, sometimes 12 units. What's entailed in obtaining this financing, and what is the process like?
For sure. So financing for multifamily properties involves gathering a lot of information, documents with regards to the property, with regards to the corporation, if this property is registered in the corporation names, and the shareholders' information. Once Once we receive this information, we would do detailed assessments on the property income and expenses. That involves looking at vacancy rates, the zoning of the property, the quality of leases, and the marketability of the property. The process would also include getting an appraisal report. We would do credit checks, and then we follow our underwriting process to come up with a decision. Prior to the decision, though, we are, most times available to provide a discussion paper where we are willing to proceed because we think this is a deal that we can work with. So with very little information, we can come up with a discussion paper subject to providing more information.
Okay. And my understanding is it's also some called like a letter of interest.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that, and then the rate, though, the actual rate isn't often set till right before the closing date?
Absolutely. We can give you an indicative rate, but the actual rate is determined just before closing because
Okay.
rates are subject to change.
And rates, how would they compare to residential? Are they, I don't know if there's one answer to that, but, similar, higher, lower?
So it really depends if if the property is zoned commercial or residential. The rates are based on bond yields when it comes to commercial loans. When it's a residential property, it would be closer to the residential rates, but really difficult to answer that question. A lot of it is also dependent on the risk rating of the borrower. So there are a number of factors that go towards determining the interest rate on an application.
Okay. And the loan to value, which for those who don't know, the loan amount divided by the value of the property, does that vary as well?
It does. Commercial is typically 75%. Residential, we can go up to 80%. Again, there are exceptions if it is commercial, but it's an owner-occupied property, we could go higher than 75% in financing those, as long as the servicing exists.
Okay. And I guess my next question maybe is related, which is about the CMHC product, which is called MLSE financing. Can you explain a little about when that would apply and what it is and how it works?
For sure. So the CMHC MLI program offers mortgage loan insurance for multi-unit residential properties. The program helps borrowers access financing with lower down payments and longer amortization, mitigating the lender risk. Here at Pathwise, we're open to looking into this type of financing. So if your listeners are interested, they could email us at commercial@pathwise.ca for more information.
Okay. And I've heard that at one point that process was extremely long, 8 months maybe, but now that it's becoming better. So I don't know if you recently experienced that, but they're saying it's less wait time to get an approval recently.
For sure. Yeah, that is correct.
That's good. What are the top 3 tips that you might have for those needing commercial financing to purchase or refinance?
Oh, I love this question. So the first tip is to be really organized with the information and paperwork. It really, really helps move along the application. Second, if the company is a startup, prepare a really, really detailed business plan and your financial projections because it's very dependent on that. The third one is to do your independent research. However, seek advice from experienced professionals in commercial real estate and financing, such as yourself and the experts at Pathwise Credit Union. Again, give us a call. We are not commissioned at Pathwise, so there'll be no pressure. Simply email us at commercial@pathwise.ca. And if you have any questions, we are happy to help.
Okay. That's very good tips. Very helpful. I can see how that would make a difference, what your suggestions about the organization and preparedness. So that's good. So I work as a broker. So in your experience, what would the benefit be of someone working together with you and a broker for the purchase?
Yeah, so we work very collaboratively with our broker partners. We work as a team. We make sure we understand your client's financing needs. We provide tailored solutions, and we facilitate the application process to make sure we have a smooth closing. Many times if we have brokers that don't have a lot of experience with commercial applications, we would actually, educate them in what to look for, what type of documentation to request, and make sure we package, how to package the application really well when it comes to us. And that really helps brokers as well. So we work with brokers all the time, and we really think it's a great partnership.
Excellent. And what's your last piece of advice for Canadians right now?
Okay. I would say stay informed about changing market conditions, seek professional guidance for financial decisions, and prioritize your long-term financial stability and resilience. Finally, for our listeners looking to maximize their savings, I urge you to capitalize on the current high interest rates offered on GICs. Pathwise has exceptional rates currently, and these rates won't last long. So make sure you take advantage of them. Check us out at pathwise.ca.
Excellent advice. Wonderful. Well, your answers have been really helpful. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot more comfort around what commercial financing is all about. And I really appreciate your time and your generosity today.
Thank you so much, Gretchen, for having me. It's been great speaking to your listeners today.
Thanks so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.